The opinions of this podcast are solely those of the creators and do not reflect the opinions of the filmmakers involved. If you are of legal drinking age, feel free to have a drink with us, but please do drink responsibly. You're listening to Cole-astic Cinema.
They're heading for the canyon. They're going back to the Citadel.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Damn you, Salazar!
With your hosts, Fabian Salazar. The entire movie is like, what the fuck is the point? And Cole Butterfield.
No, I'm going to stick on this for a minute. How aged the moon cheese has got to be by this point. It's probably the most decadent.
Where we talk about movies. Most of the time. You got to keep an eye on it. You're like, when are they going to keep dropping episodes?
Is it going to just be one? Is it going to be 6? I don't fucking know.
I have no idea. So come along for a ride and have fun.
Strong argument for that. I mean, when in doubt, it's probably just you.
Most of the time it is. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I'm like, am I the only one? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, most likely.
I'm pretty sure it's all in your head.
9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Not a 10 psychiatrist approve or agree.
And that one psychiatrist is just like straight up gaslighting you.
Oh yeah, he's just trying to keep you coming back.
You don't need help. You don't need a therapist.
You don't need
It's all in your head, dude.
The fact that you're paying me $200 an hour for this is ridiculous.
Dude, you're fine.
You're fine.
Nobody thinks that.
Nobody thinks that you're just a miserable piece of shit, just like everybody else. There's nothing special about you, so knock it off.
Yeah, just go home. Keep living your life.
Yeah.
You don't need any help.
You're doing fine. Did you
And God forbid, if you go see another psychiatrist, I will straight up kick you in your balls.
I have your information on file. I will find you. And who are they going to believe, me or the crazy guy?
You know what I can do? I can prescribe you pills that are going to make this whole thing way worse. And you'll take them because you don't know any better.
Because you don't know any better. You see, I got that piece of paper on the fucking wall.
You're here. You're here listening to this shit. Welcome to Cole-astic Cinema.
Hey, yo. What's up?
The only podcast that believes that Diddy's innocent. No, that's not true at all. I don't know. I had nothing else.
The only podcast that believes who smelt it, dealt it.
Oh, definitely.
And if they denied it, they supplied it.
They also believe in releasing 6 episodes at a time because, for God forbid, I release them weekly.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's like a big old surprise. Like just boom, there you go.
And all of a sudden, here's 6 episodes
out of nowhere. You've got a whole bunch of content to go through.
It's fun. It's exciting. You got to keep an eye on it. You're like, when are they going to keep dropping episodes?
Is it going to just be 1? Is it going to be 6? I don't fucking know.
I have no idea.
Oh my God, they just released a whole year's worth of stuff in one fucking go. It's amazing.
Fucking hell. Technically, that's how you do seasons for binging purposes, but...
Purpose.
But also wouldn't play into trying to get monetized, so...
Yeah, no, it's because,
So, yeah, I'll be being better about that. Anyway, so to continue our spooky season run, we're going to dive into the absolute just crazy nightmare of a movie that is...
What is...
I was like, where was I going with this? We're going to dive into the absolute crazy nightmare of a movie that is Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. I only know that one little bit that you showed me about this movie, and that Event Horizon, isn't that the term from where, like...
It's the focal point of a black hole.
Focal point of a black hole where light completely diminishes is called the Event Horizon.
Yep.
Yeah, so I know more about that than I do this movie.
So yeah, this movie has a fun Family Guy bit where, like, Chris... It's at the end of the episode. Chris walks in when he's working at the gas station, and he tells Carl, I watched Event Horizon last night. And he's like, oh, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about every scene. So there's a fun Family Guy bit, those of you who know that. But this movie, I have seen this movie probably about 40 times. It's a fun, dumb space horror movie, and I love my space horror movies. It was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson of Resident Evil fame, but he made this before Resident Evil. It was written by Philip Eisner. It stars Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, Kathleen Quinlan, Jolie Richardson, Richard T. Jones, Jack Noseworthy, Jason Isaacs, Sean Pertwee, Peter Merritt, I don't really care about any of these other characters, but we got to the big ones.
The rest of you, your work is appreciated in this.
Yes, it always appreciated. This movie came out in 1997. It was filmed in mostly England. Oh, it was filmed on the 007 lot. That's cool.
Ooh.
It was made for about $60 million. Yeah, about like an estimated 60 million. Opening weekend it made back 9.5, and worldwide gross it made back 26 million. So this movie bombed hard.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh goddamn.
But regardless, it's still a really, really fun space horror movie that that does the whole fun black hole thing where those of you who know what I'm talking about, you'll know it. But you take a piece of paper and a pencil and you fold the paper in half and you shove the pencil through and that's how you explain like a wormhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it in
Yeah,
Interstellar. They do it in a couple other movies, but this is the earliest count that I've seen it done.
That old bit.
Yeah.
That's how space travel can happen. Kind of just through the event horizon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, I don't know how much to ask about this movie. Like, is there anything I should know going into this, or should I like? Is this another one where I should kind of turn my brain off a little bit, or
a little bit? Not too much. It's not. It's more psychological horror than it is like space cosmic. Like it's a fun psychological deep dive into how a spaceship can get possessed by hell.
And I said, okay.
Yeah.
But this also has Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill. Those are they're great.
Very respectable actors.
And this is 97. Okay.
I debated between whether watching this one tonight or In the Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness.
Which also, In the Mouth of Madness is a really, really good movie too. It's a 1980 something. It's close to 90s, and it's got Sam Neill in it as well. It's the last in the John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy, starting with The Thing, and then I think They Live, and then this one, or In the Mouth of Madness. I could be wrong about that. I think it's those three.
Huh.
But
all right. I mean, hey, I don't know scary movies.
In the Mouth of Madness is based off of an H.P. Lovecraft book.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah. So it was a debate between Event Horizon and that, and then I thought, well, Cole is probably going to be tired after work, so let's just watch something where he doesn't have to think.
Oh, that's my secret fib. I'm always tired.
That's very true. Let's see.
So Event Horizon, Sam Neill.
Yeah, what's the Apocalypse trilogy?
Apocalypse.
Oh, no, Prince of Darkness, not They Live. So The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness are the Apocalypse trilogy. But yeah, Event Horizon. I think I saw this movie for the first time. I had Dish, so I was able to
Dish.
I was able to DVR it. It came on
DVR.
yeah, it came on HBO at some point, and I was like, oh, well, I got to set this up to record. And so I did, and I was like, oh, this movie's pretty fun. And again, it was after that I heard that whole bit, the Family Guy bit. And we were like, we got to watch, or, oh, we got to talk about Event Horizon. We got to talk about every scene, man. So I was like, okay, let me actually watch this. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty crazy. It's dumb, but it's pretty fun.
All right. I mean, oh, man, I didn't do any research for this, so I don't know even where to go. Dumb space horror movie, kind of turn your brain off, but some well-accomplished actors are awesome. Did you also say Jacob Isaacs is in this?
Yeah, Jason Isaacs is in this. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
90s, what a weird fucking time, man.
So it's either we watch that or we watch In the Mouth of Madness. Those are the two.
No, let's watch this one.
Stick with Event Horizon.
Yeah, stick with Event Horizon. Sounds fun. That way I can also, talk about it scene for scene.
And we can laugh about it because there are some pretty disturbing sequences in this movie, but a lot of it is funny. Like where we're going, we don't need eyes to see.
Yeah, you did show me that scene, so I'm like, I mean, yeah, and that's taken mostly out of context. I feel like that brief scene, Sam Neill did I think a good job, as good of a job as you can with the line where we're going, we don't need eyes to see.
It's so good.
I mean, I guess
in context, it's so much better too.
I mean, I guess, yeah, in context, it sounds a lot better, but it's also just a crazy, Here we go. I mean, isn't it intentional Back to the Future call? Like,
Yeah, more. Yeah, it is.
where
But
we're going, we don't need roads. Where we're
yeah,
going, we
yeah,
don't need
it's an intentional Back to the Future joke. But
I mean, that's fun, but where we're going, we don't need eyes. Okay, Sam Neill. All right. Next, you tell me that T-Rexes can't see you if you don't move, because that makes all the fucking sense in the goddamn world. Oh yeah, this was at the time we thought was this apex predator back in the day. Turns out it's kind of more of a like mid-tier scavenger sometimes. Like it's different, good to survive.
yeah,
But yeah, thinking like this, like, oh yeah, Tyrannosaurus, like the king lizard is literally what his name fucking means. It's like, yeah, but if you don't move, he's got no fucking clue.
Yeah, his vision's based on movement.
And then how the fuck does he navigate around trees? Come on, guys.
It always has to be windy. Otherwise, he's just fucking boom
Yeah, just-
into trees all the time.
Oh man, because he can't put his fucking arms out to feel if there's anything
Yeah.
ahead of him.
He's just headbutting, walking into shit all the time.
Fucking dumb.
Anyway,
Sorry, I had to go.
well, yeah, Sam Neill plays a scientist in this movie too, and he created the Event Horizon, which is the ship. So the premise is this ship disappeared for a couple years, and now it's back, and they're going to investigate what happened. And Sam Neill built the ship, or designed the ship and everything, and so the rescue crew brings him along, and yeah, horror ensues.
Because the ship.
The ship went to hell. It has an experimental black hole technology that lets it travel through space, like the wormhole thing, right? Mm-hmm. And the wormhole took it to hell, and then it came back from hell.
Okay. Actually, I think I'm in the right mindset. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
My body is killing me, so I'm ready to just sit down. I took a little edible, if I'm being honest. So I think I'm in the right mindset. I was trying to get in the right mindset for this. I think I'm in the perfect mindset for this.
No, it'll be great. And like, so for my 31 days of Halloween, last night I watched The Grudge, the 2019 Grudge movie, which I liked. I thought it was fun.
There's a Grudge movie in 2019?
Yeah, it was actually, I thought it was done pretty well. Like, I thought it was fun. It ties into the 2004 one. I thought it was fun. But it's very mid-tier. Just kind of, we have to do something with it because we'll lose the rights to it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fun. Better than any of the sequels. Not as good as the original, and by original I mean the original Japanese one. But,
yeah.
And then after that, I watched The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is an amazing fucking movie. Highly recommend. Yeah, that one is fantastic. Go watch The Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's a great movie. And then after that, I watched Slither, the 2006 James Gunn horror movie, which is just fucking fantastic. It's so dumb and funny.
Isn't Slither why we have Nathan Fillion in every James Gunn thing now?
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So you got your James Gunn regulars, and it's over the top, dumb, funny, and even Lloyd Kaufman makes an appearance, and it's just one of the best. One of the best dumb, fun horror movies ever.
Oh boy. All right. I haven't been really watching it. I haven't had the time to watch any scary movies. I just haven't been in the mood. Like with how the weather's been right now, it doesn't feel like it's like October.
Yeah, it's still early October.
Yeah, it's still early October. It needs to be colder, a bit more of a chill. Like it was kind of getting closer today. I was sitting outside. I'm like, all right, leaves are starting to turn. A little bit of a chill in the breeze.
Yeah.
All right, but it's hard to get into the spooky mood. Like I was talking with Red about it. He's like having a hard time watching Harry Potter because it just doesn't feel like.
Yeah, it's not quite there yet.
It's not quite the weather yet right now. It's got to reach a certain point.
Yeah, I think like late November, early December for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But yeah, like October, as soon as the first hits, I'm like, all right, here we go. Yeah. Every day.
I've never really done that before. But also I don't know a lot of scary movies, so I don't know what to watch and any recommendations.
It's fun. Even when you're just like, I wouldn't have found like Autopsy of Jane Doe or Taking of Deborah Logan, like if I didn't just like, all right, what's this? And then watch it and be like, oh, this is really good. So it's always fun. Even if you're like, you don't have to go as hardcore as me and set up like subgenres per week. You can just watch. All right,
I got the fucking time for that.
Yeah.
Set up subgenres. I got fucking soups and burgers. And
yeah, I already watched Freddy vs. Jason. Because Slasher Week was week 2.
Yeah. I have had a hankering for rewatching all the Nightmare on Elm Street.
There you go.
That's also because one of the other movie podcasts I listens to recently covered New Nightmare, and that's one I had. Like I stopped right before New Nightmare.
New Nightmare's good.
Yeah, and from what it sounded like, I'm like, oh yeah, this sounds fun. I kind of want to see that. It seems a little ridiculous, but
So like the first one's good. New Nightmare's good. Freddy vs. Jason is good. Dream Warriors is good, and then the rest of them are meh.
oh yeah, well that's an interesting thing they brought up about it is like pretty much like 1, 3, and New Nightmare because that's oh crap, why am I spacing on Nancy's story?
Yeah.
Those are the really really good ones. Some things that were brought up like we're not watching Nightmare on Elm Street, but like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was brought up that it was kind of a metaphor for being closeted.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah, which I had no idea when I first watched it, and then going back, rethinking about it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That movie's gay as fuck.
Holy shit. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make the movie any better, but hey, that's really fucking cool.
It was funny too because the lead actor, I can't remember his name, but he was like,
Yeah,
this is years before I came out, and like afterwards I was like, huh, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So hearing that, I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. Yeah, it really does not make the second one any better. I was so just disappointed by the second one on a while. This is when I had that weird time where I was just depressed in my aunt's basement, and I just go over to Walmart, raid the $5 DVD bin, and this was like one that had the first 4 Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Yeah.
And then, skipped New Nightmare, and then I just watched the remake, which, I mean, I enjoyed. I know there's definitely some detractors of it. Like,
I had fun.
All
I
right.
got to go. That's the only one I've been able to see in theaters.
Yeah.
And it was fun because I like Jackie Earle Haley, and I like not Numi. What's her fucking name?
Oh, crap.
Rooney
Mara.
Rooney. Yeah, I like Rooney Mara. And it was fine.
It was fine. I mean, I got to see Freddy vs. Jason in theaters, and that was a lot of fucking
You
fun.
lucky bastard.
Oh, yeah. Just the amount of just, like, teenage boy energy and this, like, older horror movie fan energy is, like, so fun and so dorky.
I just thought it was fun watching it this season. I was just sitting there like, yeah, this is totally mapped out for, like, we're going to start it out with just, like, the stereotypical, like, yeah, this is a slasher movie. Here's some tits, here's some gore, here's some, just, like, the fun. These are the characters, and then the second act is kind of weird and different and kind of, all right. And then the third act is, like, all fight scenes and shit, and it's fun.
Yeah, third act's like, all right, now what you've
when
came
everybody
for.
when everybody leaves for their smoke break, they're like, go re-up, and then come back.
Yeah, no, that was fun. I think it's definitely due for a rewatch. I enjoyed that a lot more than AVP for some reason.
No, I liked Alien versus Predator more, but I wasn't a huge horror movie fan when I saw both of those.
I wasn't a big fan. Like, I didn't even know anything about either genre really, except for what was in pop culture.
Yeah,
I think I just liked Freddy vs. Jason more, just how purely stupid camp it was.
Yeah,
and
and it's supposed to. It's supposed to be, and that's what makes it so good.
Which makes it so fun. It's like, all right, this is fun. Whereas like AVP, I'm like,
it takes itself a little bit too seriously.
Yeah, I feel like especially with the first few movies in each franchise separately, kind of take themselves seriously.
Yeah.
Even though we do have Arnold and friends just shooting into the fucking woods of goddamn nothing.
Yeah.
Still taken relatively seriously. But then by that point, it's like
this is like one of the most influential scenes, and it was made as a fuck you to the studio.
I guess we'll just shoot into the woods or something. Yeah,
we need more gunfights. All right, how about we have everybody shoot at nothing? There, you happy?
Yes, we are.
Actually, that scene, just that scene alone, even as a fuck you, like, is so well written. Also, it was just like, okay, we're shooting fucking thousands of rounds of ammo. We hit nothing.
But you also catch out our opinions on the previous podcast we did about the Predator. Go back, check it out.
Yeah. For this one,
I think we keep it kind of short since it's kind of new for me, and you've seen it 40 times, so I imagine you've got a lot to say about it.
Oh yeah, last time. Well, it was funny. The last time I watched this movie, so I was scrolling through and I was hanging out with my dad, and we're like, "Oh, I said, "Have you seen Event Horizon?" He's like, "No, I haven't seen it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll throw it on." And then we started getting into a conversation, and he's like, "What is an Event Horizon?" I'm like, I don't. Well, actually, I don't know. Let's look it up. And I look it up, and it's like, oh, an event horizon is the point in a black hole where no light can escape. That's like the peak center of the black hole. He's like, oh, cool. And it's like, wouldn't it be crazy if like black holes are like the point where another ship like found its way, like it's the pinnacle of life and technology, where they found that ability to travel out of the universe, but it created that black hole and it's always there. And I was like, yeah, let's explore this topic. And we started talking about it. And afterwards, we were like, yeah, man, that would be so crazy. And I look at him, I was like, how high are you right now? It's like, oh, I'm up there. I was like, you took a gummy, didn't you? He's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy.
Talking about black holes, dude. It was like, the best was like, how could you tell? I was like, well, as soon as you went, yeah, man, black holes. We both started laughing our asses
It's a
off.
giveaway for anybody. Everyone's like, yeah, man. Or any like slow, like, dude.
Imagine this, man.
Kind of had that this morning at work. It was me, Rhett, and Eric, and then we were all just talking. Eric starts talking to me about long legs. He's like, you see it? I'm like, yeah, I saw it. He's like, what'd you think? I'm like, I enjoyed it for the most part. I unfortunately missed the Nicolas Cage and the car scene, singing and freaking out. It's like, starts doing. He's like,
Yeah, you were in the bathroom.
yeah, which fucking sucks because that would have been awesome. He's like, well, yeah, just like, what'd you think about it? I'm like, I enjoyed it. Like, there's a lot of really good performances. Like, my only issue was like, pick a lane between, demonic versus, just serial killer stuff. It's like, instead it was just kind of just both. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that also, like, it was a giant your mom joke, because that in the very end is like, oh, who's the villain? Who's the villain?
Your mom.
It's like, and they were all just like, dude, oh my God. We all need to get back to work. Shit.
No way.
Dude. Yeah, it's just stoned
All right.
assholes.
Oh, shit. We never pulled up a script reading for
Ah,
this.
fuck, yes.
I'll pause it. If you want to go to the bathroom, I'll try and find something
Yes.
for us to read.
Yeah.
You about done over there?
Remember your first beer?
I do, actually.
Same as
Okay, so Event Horizon isn't a very script-heavy movie, so we're going to be doing one from The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Again, highly recommend if you haven't seen it. Okay.
Okay.
Do we want to play this serious or what?
Well, I've got no idea.
I'd say let's just do it. We haven't done one seriously.
Okay. Do it
Or
seriously.
in a minute, so let's do one seriously. Oh, okay. Classic rock plays from the radio. A series of quick shots. We watch as Tommy and Austin take Jane Doe through the early stages of an autopsy. First to a scale where the body's weighed, then to a wash basin where it's cleaned, and finally to the slated operating table in the center of the room. Austin switches on the mini DV camera, adjusts it to frame and workspace, moving into the camera's POV.
This is the autopsy of an unidentified female, henceforth known as Jane Doe. Cause of death, unknown. Performing the autopsy will be myself, Tommy Tilden, attending coroner, and I'll be assisted by Austin Tilden, certified medical technician.
Snap back to normal POV, Tommy's still talking to the camera.
This autopsy will be conducted in 4 stages. We'll begin with the external evaluation, followed by an evaluation of the heart and lungs, then the digestive organs, and finally the brain.
On the radio, a weather report comes on, faint enough that it blends into the background. Storm front coming up from the Gulf. Rain's expected to last through to tomorrow morn. Austin snaps close-ups of Jane Doe's distinguishing features with an old-school Polaroid camera. Subject appears to be in her mid to late 20s, Caucasian. Austin takes shots of her arms and legs. Austin tracks each photo on the corkboard nearby, creating a pictorial roadmap of the autopsy as Tommy progresses. Skin appears normal, no outward signs of bleeding or bruising, no scarring, no distinctive external markings. Austin moves towards Jane Doe's face, snaps a photo. Hair, red, eyes. Austin peels back an eyelid. Jane's gray eye stares right at him. He lifts the other eyelid. Gray? Tommy looks into Jane's eyes, intrigued.
Don't see clouding like that unless the body's been dead for days. But there's no lividity.
Austin bends Jane Doe's limbs. No rigor mortis either. When do you figure she died? Tommy runs his bare hands over Jane's pristine skin.
She's colder than the ambient temperature.
Conditions at the scene?
Could be confounding factors.
Austin presses on Jane Doe's torso, his eyes drawn to her narrow waist. Look how small her waist is. Doesn't fit the rest of her frame.
Could be congenital. We won't know until we open her up. Mark it on the board. We'll come back to it.
Austin walks over to the large dry erase board next to the corkboard, imprinted on it an anatomy chart. As Austin marks up the chart, Tommy examines Jane's waist. As he turns them... Oh, Jane's wrists, excuse me. As he turns them, the sound of the cracking beneath his skin, fragments of bone grating against each other.
Her wrists are fractured.
Austin presses on Jane's ankles, ripples of broken bones shifting beneath her skin, more grating, cracking. Ankles, too. How do you break your wrists and ankles without any outward signs?
I see it all the time. Simple fractures.
Simple? Her joints are shattered. Austin denotes the fractures on Jane Doe's wrists and ankles. Meanwhile, Tommy uses a small tool, a file, to scrape a dark mud-like substance from underneath Jane Doe's fingernails. He holds up the file to the light, confused. What is that? Dirt? Tommy rolls the substance beneath his fingers. It clumps into a small bead.
No, it's heavier, denser. This is peat. Haven't seen this stuff in ages.
Austin circles around Jane's body, notices notices the same soil underneath her toenails. It's underneath her toenails, too. Tommy runs his hands through Jane's hair. Small particles of peat cling to his gloved fingers.
Trace amounts in her hair. She's covered in it.
Like she might have been buried in it? Where do you find peat around here?
Now, you could buy it at a nursery, but naturally, in the ground, you'd have to go north. New England.
Think that's where she's from? Austin writes New England on the dry erase board.
Possibly. Or she could have just had an interest in horticulture.
Tommy grabs a small pen light. He bends down, shines the light up Jane Doe's nasal passages.
Nasal cavity presents no signs of inflammation, no fluid, no foreign substances.
Tommy shines the light into Jane's left ear, then right.
Your canals are clear.
Austin pries open Jane Doe's jaw as Tommy uses a pen light to peer down her throat. His eyes narrow, seeing something.
Can't say I was expecting that.
Tommy moved aside to give Austin a clear look, shining the light inside Jane Doe's mouth. Her tongue is gone. A ragged stump of flesh is what's left. Austin tries to remain clinical. Tongue has been severed.
Lacerations are crude, non-surgical.
Could have been bitten off. OD'd on something? Tensed up?
But these aren't bite marks. See the striations. Looks like it was ripped out.
Tommy marks the anatomy chart. His eyes dart from Jane Doe's tongue to her wrists, her ankles, her face. A theory beginning to take shape.
I've seen something like this before, about 15 years back. Human trafficking. Around Dallas, 2 girls. Hands and feet bound tight to keep them from running. Cut out their tongues from making too much noise.
Austin snaps a still picture. You think this was some sort of prostitution thing? A sex crime?
Yeah, can't rule it out.
And I think that goes into the next scene too. But really fun movie.
Yeah, read ahead a little bit. Like, okay, that.
I know. I would sit here and read the whole script.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
It's like, oh, okay. Also, yeah, Ian Goldberg. I know that name. He's fuck. That's gonna drive me. I'll have to look that up. Off mic, but
yeah. And then in the movie, Austin's played by Emil Hirsch, and Tommy is Brian Cox.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Brian Cox. Damn it! I don't think I have a Brian Cox.
I wanted to see. I didn't want to tell you beforehand.
I
wanted to see where you're going. With it.
In my head, I was imagining younger men, especially because they're clearly brothers or related in some way.
Yeah.
It seemed very kind of like in my head. It was like 2 aspiring like autopsy guys like find a body and start just like performing it how they would normally in this. It's like some
I
sort
skipped
of
all the
bigger
way.
thing.
I skipped all the way through because
Yeah.
it's a father and son. But I wanted to see what you.
You know, I was imagining like two younger men, brothers, like stumbling upon a body, trying to end up getting embroiled in this fucking like murder mystery thing.
I really don't. Fuck! I really don't want to ruin it for you. So
Yeah.
we'll go. We'll go watch Event Horizon and see where we're at.
I'm sorry. That's just to justify my choices, people. I didn't know it was Brian Cox.
Oh my God. What happened to your eyes?
Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see.
Certified late '90s banger.
Oh my God. How long was that?
Hour 40.
Okay. Felt a little bit. It felt longer than that. It's like, fuck, I wasn't aware we were signing up for a 3-hour goddamn movie. Oh my God. Ooh.
Did it really feel like that much of a slog?
I wouldn't say a slog. It's just like, oh man, just like such a throwback to the 90s where parts where I'm like, all right, waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to happen. Like music's bumping, like something's about to happen. Like, we got the violins and everything. It's like, okay.
Waiting.
It's like,
waiting.
okay,
Yeah.
clearly they're about to set up a jump scare or something. Next scene. Wait, what?
Yeah. I actually don't remember this movie as being a slow burn, but it kind of is.
It takes a while to ramp up, and then by that point, it's just like, fuck it.
I guess let's just go.
We were building up to this, teasing up to this the entire fucking time, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So let's not even waste any time. Let's dive right into the notes.
Okay, first note was also your last comment. Fucking 90s credit music, dude. Just
Yeah.
like late 90s, 90s.
Just
This
like,
was right
here
before.
we fucking
this
go.
is 2 years before the Matrix. Just captured.
Let's go with that new
yeah.
metal. Just fucking.
Computer visuals.
Yeah.
So, okay, that, and then start off with the obvious, cliche of dream
Yeah.
thing going on a little bit.
Starting off in the dream sequence.
Which I guess is the ship reaching out to him since the ship has been discovered. Like I was trying to make a lot of sense of a lot of it. Like I know I was supposed to take it seriously, and for the most part, I didn't. Cooper really helped
you
with
wanted
that.
to take it seriously?
No, like I was trying to my brain kept trying to think things through. It's like, okay, where's it going with this? Where's it going with this? And I had to keep reminding myself, like, no, shut up. And the person who'd help with that is anytime Cooper was on screen, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, you got to remember what kind of movie this is.
Yeah.
bud.
Cooper. Cooper just breaks the tension immediately. It reminds you, no, you're not supposed to be taking any of this shit
Well,
seriously.
but I was just found myself once again, something I can't help with doing sometimes, or just find my mind just trying to connect the dots of pieces, trying to figure out what the movie's trying to say or do.
Then
or,
he comes in and be like, I'm about this motherfucker.
I was like, oh, right, for God, this movie made what? So you said 25 million?
Yeah.
max
It bombed
out of
pretty
90
hard.
million, which I see where all the money went with so much goddamn CGI.
Yeah, no, well, it kind of plays in, some of it is a little dated, but a lot of it, the actual practical, the ship itself, the set
yeah.
is immaculate.
Yeah, it's just like the weird space goo interdimensional.
The CGI is a little dated, but the actual practicals are fucking off the charts good.
Especially towards the end, where Lawrence Fishburne's getting his ass kicked by Sam Neill, and you can tell that they CGI'd Lawrence Fishburne's face crudely onto the stunt double.
Yeah, who's on fire? Yeah. I did see that one too.
What's
And
amazing?
I did love it made me laugh, but it's intentional because it is kind of a B movie. But the intentional, when he punches him, the stereotypical punch, dish, 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 sound effects.
Yeah. Oh my God. A $90 million B movie.
60.
60.
But
60.
still.
Okay. So
Any
Oh.
money to wave your hand at.
Yes.
But
Oh my God. Okay. Then my next note: how many photos is too many photos to have of your dead wife who killed herself because you work too much? Apparently,
not enough.
he had so many funny pictures. The one to say "I miss you" to.
It is kind of that's shown before you know what happens to her, and you're kind of like, oh my God, he's obsessed with this dead wife. But then once you know what happened to her, it's kind of like, oh,
That's also
I kind of
that's
get it.
also where my mind started going. Was like, was she on this ship? Is that why he's so obsessed with getting like back to the ship, or is it gonna be like some sort of
Plays into
curveball
it.
where
And
like she's not
if you
actually
wanna-
dead, she just divorced him? Like,
And this is I'm glad you brought this point up. This is a big point, in my opinion, for the movie. Is like the wife. The ship inherently becomes his wife, and when you actually deep dive into it and start thinking about it, like, yeah, he already let his wife die once. He's not going to let his damn it, there's a term for this.
well, there is, but it's like pretty much like the replacement wife. The thing, like the reason why his wife killed
his
herself.
replacement wife. But there's a term for it that I can't, and that's a shot.
Yeah, can't think of the term.
Can't think
but
of the term.
pretty much the ship is replacing it because this is what he spent all this time ignoring her on, was on this ship.
Yeah,
And
so it's like his wife's dead because of it, and he's not going to let his life project be destroyed also. So
'cause
his
therefore-
turn to
yeah.
insanity makes a lot of sense. Like, that's actually pretty decent writing.
It's a pretty decent, kind of, but he's also super eager to just fucking go to the dark side.
Yeah.
Like from the get go.
Well, he
entire
invested
time.
most of his life into building this ship.
Yeah.
And now it's back, and
But-
he wants to go see it.
But then he's got people like throwing stuff at him, and like some crazy shit's going on, and he's like, "Nah, it's probably
Yeah, nah, fuck your terms. Fuck.
Swamp gas hitting."
Exactly. Well, scientifically, fuck scientific, man. Fuck
It's like,
you.
yeah, no, dude, this thing disappeared like you're not even a little bit. You literally said that it folds like pretty much like a hole
It
into
folds
space.
space in half.
It accesses like access to dimensions. You're
Yeah,
not even a
he's
little bit curious or a little bit like
yeah. He's so quick to dismiss anybody's like opinions.
yeah.
of
Which
what's
at
going
first
on.
it makes sense, but it's just like then the too much shit is just fucking. Also, you're having these wild hallucinations. Everyone's having fucking hallucinations.
He's way quick to write it off as being like, no, fuck that.
But also
Whatever.
you're-
It's in your head. The ship is my wife.
Yeah, but it's just.
The ship is my dead wife. Also, fuck you.
I mean, Jesus, man. I guess it's like still wasn't trying to take it too seriously. It's still pretty fucking funny of a movie, because so much nothing really kind of fucking happens for a while. Even though it keeps on teasing it.
Yeah, they try to take the long take suspense route with it, which I love, but also in a movie like this, like
I feel like there's got to be like a bit of a
that's a
payoff
very
more
big
often.
tonal shift also, and there has to be a payoff.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, there's got to be a payoff. Like, you're like, "Ooh, we're gonna tease it, we're gonna tease it, we're gonna tease it, we're gonna tease it, we're gonna
It's
tease."
spooky. You have to, like, if you're gonna set up Chekhov's gun, you have to have the gun,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. It's like
Yeah.
you're teasing me with like there's gonna be a jump scare. There's gonna be some sort of like something in the background or something. Like you're teasing me with this, and there's like
Yeah.
no. Man, just
So let me go to my.
yeah.
I only have 4 notes. Yeah, I only have 4 notes. So, and two of mine are the same point.
Yeah.
So I have 3 notes. My first one is I love how they're all in flight suits because
Yeah.
that's awesome. They're pilot, or like they all work on the ship, and they're piloting a ship. I think that's a cool little
instead of, like,
little detail.
Stupid, like well, not stupid, but just like future
proto-esque space suits
suit
and shit.
clothes
They
and
just
whatever.
throw them in standard-esque flight suits and let them go, and I think that's a really cool thing. My next note is deeper into the movie, so I'll let you go. I know you have a handful. So.
Yeah. First thing I noticed is that Weir's pod is the only one that has his name written on duct tape and slapped on the front of it. Everyone
yeah,
else has little
'cause he's a guest.
identifiers. He's
Yeah.
a guest. It's like, well, that's just duct tape's still a thing when we have space travel. It's like, hey, we have to keep duct tape on board.
As far into the future as we get, duct tape is a humanity
still, it's only like 23, almost 22 years from now.
yeah,
But still-
2047.
Still, though, we have like you can create an engine which creates mini black holes
Shit,
where you
that's
can
weird to
warp
think about.
and fold things over. But you're like duct tape.
I also love that in the opening or the opening text is like, in 2015 we colonized the moon. I was like, all right, man.
Okay, sure.
I wish.
Yeah. It was like, and then in 20 something like
Brings up the same point that I brought up, however many episodes ago with the Ad Astra thing. It was like,
yeah.
even if we did colonize the moon, it's still going to be the same bullshit we have here.
yeah, it's just gonna take
It's
forever.
all strip malls and hotels. It's just going to be another city.
And highways as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, except for the highways are going to be rovers and everybody's in spacesuits and shit.
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe they're not.
Why
spaceship.
why build the entire thing to be habitable, like when you can just have everybody get in a spacesuit or be in like a airtight bus and drive them out to the next city that's airtight?
I mean, What else? Why just stop at the fucking moon? Just so you can mine the moon. I mean, mining the moon makes sense.
What's in the moon, though? I guess we don't know. That's why we gotta go hobbit.
Cheese. Do you know the value of cheese, man? I work
That's
in
true.
food service industry.
If
Anything
they're
with milk
made
is
of
fucking-
cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess argument moot. Let's go.
How aged? No, I'm gonna stick on this for a minute. How aged the moon cheese has got to be by this point? It's probably the most decadent, rare.
When were the dinosaurs extinct?
Well, see, the dinosaurs never happened. Bones were just put into the ground by the devil to tempt our faith in Christ.
Right.
So,
So at least five.
and the Earth
at
is only
least-
2,000 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah. So at least 1,500 years
So
ago.
it's
So fucking
it's a
stupid.
very well aged moon cheese.
If you actually believe that shit, stop listening to our podcast.
Oh no, man! Give me your arguments, please. Try to defend that fun.
Oh God, if we get those kind of comments, I will fucking throw my computer out the window.
Oh man, I'm just glad anybody listens.
I think that might. Yeah. I'm just glad anybody.
I'm just glad anybody. I mean, hey. Then just how they casually play a recording of Hell.
Yep.
Just very casual. It's like, well, this is the last recording.
Okay, so that actually ties into two of my notes. One was when I pulled up the script earlier and I didn't want you to see it, but there's like a giant list of like 12 scenes that were cut. It just says scene cut, scene cut, scene cut, scene cut, scene cut.
The fuck?
Yeah, and then it brings me back to my next note later on, which is the studio wouldn't let him do it. Otherwise, they would have gotten an NC-17 rating. But all those flashes of hell and in the recording, that was an entire sequence that was filmed for the movie that we were supposed to see, like in full, not just the recording.
Yeah.
And it was all blood orgy,
I was
people
gonna say, like,
slicing
yeah,
each other up.
They're masochistic blood orgy.
Yeah, and people slicing each other up and shit, and like, yeah, the studio wouldn't let him do it, so they cut it, and the footage was deleted. So we, even to this day, nobody has been able to find it.
I mean, I think that might have helped the movie a bit more. Like, would have made me a bit more terrified had the shit.
It would have given given a
no,
lot more sense of like urgency to
Yeah.
get the fuck off the ship.
Minus just the casual 20-hour window for breathable, just for oxygen.
Yeah, true.
Which, man, it's a fun, nice little, like,
Yeah,
like,
it's
timestamp,
got
like-
that clicking talk always, and I love that for this movie. But yeah, the entire sequence was cut.
which is, I mean, it makes sense that it was filmed because the entire time I was expecting something like that to kind of pop up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because all the movies we've been watching recently to where it's like, oh, blood orgy, obviously you got to fucking show that.
Yep. Full penetration.
Full penetration, but you got people just naked, writhing on the floor, bathed in blood, whatever. Like, that's just a lot of the movies we fucking
Doing
cover.
science penetration, full penetration,
Oh, look, they've got barbed wire out of fucking nowhere on their face from one of them.
science
Yeah.
penetration, more penetration.
That would have made it a bit more. Yeah, that would have been. I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily want to see that, but that would have been
It
interesting.
would have added to the movie. It would have given it a little bit more of
Well,
a sense of how much danger the crew is
yeah.
actually in.
Well, but even then, are they really in that much danger? Because that's one of my next notes is like this. So, first of all, the only conclusion that Stark can come to is that the ship is alive.
Yeah.
That's the only one. It's like I've ran all the
Yeah,
numbers.
the ship is alive. It has memories of hell.
I've decided to go to just like go fault on Sherlock logic, even like the most outrageous thing. If like the only thing plausible must be it. This ship is alive. So, which means it has an immune system. It's like, oh, okay, this is interesting. All
Yeah,
right, okay, yeah. Pretty much like it's been, like you said,
It's
possessed by hell.
It's kind of
demonic,
fun to
yeah.
think about in theory.
But
right?
then, like, this immune system just has nothing but a flair for the dramatic and really isn't trying that hard to get rid of these, like, viruses or whatever that has invaded his body.
no.
Except for the fact that it wants to make them part of the crew so they can then pilot it back to hell. Well, even though it's not actually hell, but it's just a realm full of pure chaos.
It essentially is hell, but it's not
Not.
without saying it is, but it is.
But it is, but it's not.
It's
Pretty much
not,
just like
yeah.
pretty much like the human perception of what the closest like
What
thing
hell would
translate
be.
That's
Yeah.
what hell would be like translated for us. So, what is the ship's goal? Besides to get back to hell, and why is it taking it sweet? Because it could take out any of these motherfuckers.
It just
quick.
I think it just wants fresh victims, I guess.
I kind of, but
Well, when you break it down like that, like the entire movie is like, what the fuck is the point?
because all it's doing is like offering hallucinations without actually anything like any like real monsters or anything popping up.
Yeah.
Like how fucking the medic lady dies with the freaking paraplegic kid or whatever is by chasing the hallucination and then just falling down to a fucking hole after the kid stops. Like kid in hallucination stops.
Yeah.
She stops, and then she just doesn't even look at anything about her surroundings, doesn't notice the narrow fucking obvious corner room she's in, steps down, falls down, just bounces her way all the way down.
Yeah, right. Like a literal ragdoll
bounces all the way. Then lands on grates where blood instantly shoots out of her body and splashes up with the water and then cascades down on her.
Coolant fluid.
Oh, okay, sure, whatever, man. It's fucking water. It's fucking water. Water can cool shit. It's the divine conduit water.
The weird brown brown water.
Coolant brown water stuff. That's how they. But it's like even then the ship didn't actually do anything.
They're all just drunk.
That would explain so much why she just fell down the hole because she was fucking drunk. Drunk accidents like that happen all the time. They're tragic, but that would explain so much more. Like, is the ship just having fun with them? Because it doesn't always keep on having fun with them. Like, it just seems to kind of terrorize them. Like, with Justin right away, it's just like, which was one of my other notes, like, just who puts their arm into CGI goo? Fuck you, Justin. Don't do that. Like...
Yeah, it's that stereotypical classic, classic horror movie. Ooh, brown liquid. I'm gonna touch it.
I mean, that's also something that kind of like drives me nuts with the cliche of like he's like the newest recruit-ish, but still like these guys have done multiple missions by this point. He should know to like make sure that he's being recorded, that he still has communication with them so they can also see what he's saying because they're gonna have to. It's gonna be a lot of paperwork. You've got to communicate and you've got to get all this on record.
It's a considerable amount of paperwork.
Instead, he's decided I'm gonna fucking poke it and then get dragged in like an asshole. Fuck. Yeah, and then just. Even then, that Justin bit took for like I was waiting for him to like be possessed or for something to happen. No, all he does is he just is a comatose, witnessing hell in his head, shakes for a little bit.
He went like the way I see it is he went there and was there for like because it's outside of our perception of time and reality.
Yeah, so it could have been.
So he was there for so long and was traumatized so bad, like he doesn't know how to function anymore.
But then he also kind of does, because right at the end, when he's about to kill himself, he's like allowed to come to him, be like, "Mama Bear, what are you doing? I don't want to die. I'm gonna get out of this room."
He's kind of possessed.
Or is he actually possessed, and that's just like another nail in the coffin for tormenting the crew? Is like, I'm gonna pretend that he's.
Like it's not straight arrow either.
Yeah,
no, I get that.
So, but also that's not what this movie's about. I know, but it's like
the logical inconsistencies are a lot, but
it's just I wanted a bit more of a through line with a few things. It's like it's not quite as bad as Wicker Man, where I'm like, there's some things you're talking about that you could really have a lot of fun with. Like, like a ship goes to hell, gets possessed, and tries to take out those who are investigating. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
it's just I feel like the pacing has got to be a bit faster.
Okay, so you want to know my last note, my logical conclusion to this story?
Yes.
This is just Dead Space. This is Dead Space. This is proto Dead Space. These are the ideas of the game and the story before it became a thing and was shaved off and actually focused.
Yeah, so like the creators and devs and all that watch this movie.
And
said, hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. Let me do this actually. Right. Yeah, let me actually show you how this is
by
done.
Breaking this up into like or extending it out to how long is the gameplay itself? Like
12 hours ish.
Yeah, 12 hours, which makes sense. I feel like you could cover a lot of the themes on this in like 12 hours.
Yeah.
So, but still, like, okay, so it's all Dead Space. Okay.
So it's, but also that's part of the reason why I love this movie is it's Dead Space before Dead Space. The ideas are there. Like Dr. Weir, his entire guilt, his entire reason of being, like, replace the event horizon with the USG Ishimura. And it's just the same story, except for, like, the marker, instead of the game going, or the ship going through a portable black hole, it picks up the marker, and the marker makes him, like, oh, I'm sad about my dead wife, and blah, 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 makes him go crazy. It's, all the ideas are there.
Yeah.
It's just Dead Space actually made it good.
I mean, that does. Actually, it doesn't really cover any of my other fucking notes. Because after that, I tried like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just start having some fun with that. Like noticing the patch job they do to fix up the Lewis and Clark.
Just some rivet guns and foam,
Yeah,
baby.
it's like that is amazing. Wow.
Let's fucking go.
Wow. So you guys
Rivet
can go
guns
from-
and foam.
So you can go from Neptune back to fucking Earth. Okay. Oh man, at least I'm glad there's still simple patch jobs like that
Yeah.
exist, and also everyone still smokes inside of a fucking space station,
Yeah.
or a spaceship or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. I mean, it's the '90s. We didn't know that you shouldn't smoke. There was no studies that came out
Fuck
about.
that. Smoking's not that bad.
And then just randomly how they're going through the footage, and Stark's like, "Oh, I've got coffee. Where in the fuck did the coffee come from?" It's like, yeah,
Well,
but it's
you
cold.
always have to have coffee.
Yeah, but like, where did the coffee come? Like,
You have to ask where the coffee came
Yeah,
from.
is this is a 7-year-old commissary kitchen, right? That's been in a chaos realm. Where the fuck did the coffee come from? They brew
came
it.
from-
They
it
take
came
the
from-
time to brew it. They wasted water and power to brew the. Is everything else okay with the exception of the fucking oxygen? Where's the fucking coffee? What is this like? It's like goddamn Game of Thrones. What the fuck is the deal with the goddamn coffee cup right there? What is going on right there?
Coffee is a consistent. It's always always been.
It's a dimensional constant. Even even when the ship has gone to hell and
it
back,
has always
it
been.
will
It has been here.
preserve that coffee.
It has been here long before us, and it'll be here long after us.
It's a fucking, but it's still gonna be fucking cold.
Yep.
Okay, whatever. Then just also just mostly curiosity about the hallucinations, like why, especially when you guys as a group really just come back quick to the consensus that these are just hallucinations being brought on by this alive ship that we're on. Why follow them? Why engage with them at any point? Except for towards the end when it turns out the hallucinations semi-real because it's Sam Neill brought back, but now looking like, oh god, his face is all carved up and weird. Fucking stupid. I just don't understand like the hallucinations and the impact that they actually have. Like I can understand the psychological thing they play on you, but after a while, like once you know,
It's
like are they physically like can they physically manifest? Because
Yeah, I mean Sam,
like the
not
doctors,
Sam Neill. Lawrence Fishburne like says earlier, like it's not just a hallucination. I could feel the heat coming off of him.
but could you? Because you can also trick
But
yourself into a lot of
you
things.
could trick yourself
Yeah.
into thinking the heat was real, but then he gets smacked by it later.
But then it turns out like that was Sam Neill reincarnated after he that was another fucking thing that I didn't understand. If the ship like just knows so much and wants this fucking crew, why did he shoot the fucking gun at Cooper to try to take him out through the whole glass of the hull after seconds ago Lawrence Fishburne says like you're gonna breach the hull if you do that and like kill this crew you want. It's like, oh, what makes you think I'll miss? He then tries to shoot through the fucking window at Cooper.
I do not have an explanation for any of that. That's all just dumb fucking writing. Honestly, I'm like,
It's just like, because like, okay, cool, you got it, and the Cooper shows up, like, then this could be a good way to get rid of Cooper if you wanted to up the stakes a little bit. Like, no, we're gonna I kind of really wanted the ship to go to hell, like, and for that to be the end of where like pretty much just Lawrence Fishburne be like,
no, we're in. Yeah, no, that would be cool. But also, I don't feel like the studios would have gone for that at all. They didn't even go for what they had written in the first place.
I mean, yeah,
I don't
so-
think they would have gone for any of that.
no, but that's just been so much more cool, and like I feel like there's like
It
certain
would've.
I feel like. I mean, there's certain like maybe streaming series or like short things we can like
An
nowadays you can
Event
get away with that.
Horizon, an Event Horizon series would be
But I think that's something you
honestly
can get away
pretty
with. Yeah.
fucking dope.
I think it's something you can get away with now, or if it was like back in the 70s where everything was just fuck you, sad ending, then they could have had the just like, and then the ship went to hell, and that's the end of the story.
And when?
Back in the, oh no, I just forgot. It was on the tip of my tongue. Is this house possessed?
No,
Sorry.
it was back in
That weird, like, awkward time between the 60s and 80s where they couldn't decide if they wanted to keep doing the fluffy endings of the 60s.
no, they just kept making really, really dour endings.
But for, like,
There
a
was
while.
a time period.
There was a period, though, where
Yeah.
it was just dour endings.
I don't.
So you could have done that then, although
Yeah.
the graphics would have been fucking insane.
Did they have computers at that point? They would have, but
Yeah, but
they would have, but they would have been pretty terrible.
yeah. So I don't
Could
know
you
how they could've-
imagine like dropping a RTX 3090 in 19 between 1969 and 1980.
Oh man, dude, the fact that especially the things they were trying to do with their limited fucking abilities.
Yeah,
It's
just
like,
walking in and be like, "Here, have this.
yeah, just boom, here you go. Like, you'll figure it out. I trust you guys. You'll figure this out.
Take it apart. Do what you want with it. You know what? I'll give you 2 of them.
You know what?
So you can take one apart and use the other one.
This might be a bit too much for you now, but trust me, your kids are gonna love it.
Your kids are gonna love it. Your kids' are gonna love it.
Kids are gonna love it. And then their kids are gonna be like, what the fuck is this old ass shit? Why does this look so grainy and shitty? Like the fact that CDs are so heavily involved.
Holy fuck, yeah. Oh my god.
It's a great way to date any movie. What's the pinnacle of technology?
CDs.
See, or back like in
CDs nuts.
or in the 80s when
Got
floppy
your
disks.
ass. Got all of your listening asses.
Gotcha. Then I was mostly curious about, like, I understand, like, trying to, like, keep scary up the level, but, like, why did Sam Neill do you need to cut Jason Isaacs open and do the Blood Eagle, not Blood Eagle thing?
Because it was cool.
I mean, I guess, but, like, what? I mean, what's the ship's plan? If the ship is possessing him, like, what's the plan? It's like they're already scared. Like, these guys get pretty
I
scared.
don't give a fuck at this
The
point.
guys get scared
It's a
early
man.
on
It's a man with his guts hanging out, dripped over a
with the obvious
operating
fucking
table.
scar.
Which they didn't make him a blood eagle. I remember
Yeah.
him making him a blood eagle, but he's not.
No, it's just
No,
and they just
he just hung up with his guts out.
do it to do
Which
it.
also, like, not
guess.
to discredit it, but like it's pretty fucking good, and like the practicals are.
Oh, yeah,
like
oh,
I
no.
said earlier, the practicals in this movie are ridiculously good.
Yeah.
But also, like, yeah, I remember him turning him into a blood eagle, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get any of my like critiques or anything like twisted. Like they're like that, like the effects of the ship itself, like the core, the heart of the ship is so beautifully done. Although
It is really cool.
I
The
can see why
gyroscope,
it went
that's
to hell.
fucking sick.
I can see why it went to hell based on how everything is designed. Like
Yeah.
this is designed to just take you to hell.
Yeah, it's like
All the
it's so
spikes
fucking
and
cool.
Like sharp metal spikes and pyramids and everything, and
Just
circles.
like when they actually have the gyroscope going,
Yeah.
that's fucking sick.
sick
dude.
as hell. It's metal as fuck. But you were asking to go to hell when you designed this, Sam Neill.
Yeah,
You manifested your wife's suicide and this going to hell. You
did
clearly-
this.
You did this. This is all of his fault. That's why he gets so possessed so fucking easily, because he's just like, I've got 1 foot in hell and I'm ready to fucking go.
An interesting actor who people don't like associate with horror, who has been in way more horror movies than they think. Like Sam Neill is like a horror icon.
See, I'm one of those fucking, like, not, I wouldn't say few, but one of the many that just like this Jurassic Park. That's all I fucking know. That's all I ever saw.
And
of
even
him.
then, like Jurassic Park has its horror moments.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Sam Neill is a horror icon. Like The Possession is a very, very big 1970s horror movie.
Well, that explains why he. I feel like he does such a good job of playing off the whole demon possessed into hell thing. Very, like, I
Yeah.
think he does a very good job. Like, there's some solid acting in the movie too.
So that one, In the Mouth of Madness, he's also a very, very, like, very good character in that. A more modern one would be Daybreakers, where he plays a fucking vampire. Like, yeah, like Sam Neill's a horror icon.
Huh. Crazy. Yeah, all I ever knew from Jurassic Park. I can't think of anything else except for just Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic Park 3.
Well, an easy grab for anybody that wants to make horror movies, and if you want to make horror movies, hit me in my DMs. But like,
Right in the DMs.
easy grab for horror movies. If you want to instantly imposing villain, just get a very uptight, just classical British actor.
Oh, he's very imposing for someone.
Not uptight. It's very, very, very what is it?
Professional, poised.
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 Thank you.
I read a book once.
A very poised classical British actor, and make them your villain, and there you go.
He does some
Perfect.
very imposing and awesome, but also I imagine him being like maybe 5'8".
Oh, Sam Neill.
Yeah, but like I would still be like terrified. of this
He's
man.
lean as well. He's not lean. He's pretty lean in this movie.
He's pretty lean in this movie.
But like, I'm still like thinking of him in like Possession or In the Mouth of Madness, where he's fucking like just lean as fuck, skinny as shit.
I mean, I'm down to check out some like other Sam Neill. Like, yeah, no, I enjoy like. Yeah, like
I
him
haven't-
and Lawrence Fishburne do great jobs. Like,
Yeah. Oh, also speaking of being yoked as fuck, like Lawrence Fishburne is trim like a god in this movie.
Dude, my boy Lawrence Fishburne, man. Morpheus getting ready. Already talking to his Smith before he talks to his Smith.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
So like, yeah, Sam Neill. Like, I don't know. I think I haven't seen Possession all the way through, but I think you'd love In the Mouth of Madness. It's
Oh yeah, that Lovecraftian type deal. Yeah,
100% just Lovecraftian. Like,
Yeah.
you're going crazy just because you see these. Like, he's. Oh god, that movie's fun.
No, it sounds. I mean,
So much
throw it
fun.
on the list. I'm fucking ready, dude. I'm down. Other than that, my notes, they start to slow off. They start getting towards the end. Stark showing up and be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot she was in this movie for a minute," because she kind of just disappears while everyone gets.
She's
killed
not
off.
really like a pivotal character
No,
at all.
like she's kinda
just there.
She shows up, it's like the ship is alive and has an immune system. Oh, here I am, knocked out while Sam Neill's getting.
Yeah, like that's her one thing. Like every crew member has their one thing, and her one thing was to walk up and be like, "I think the ship's alive. See you in the third act."
Yeah, so in the third act, and then I'll kind of have the final girl moment at the end where I have the hallucination of Sam Neill as he was before I ever saw him. I never saw him like that. I saw him with his fucking eyes that he pulled out of his.
Well, it also brings the question into the argument. The entire ship went to hell, right?
Yeah.
So blowing it up and saving the lifeboat's not going to do anything.
Yeah, because I mean,
Like, the black hole emitter is gone.
unless I was
but-
just saying like just the heart, because it kept saying the heart of the ship, the heart
yeah,
of the
the
ship.
heart
So
of the ship's gone.
I guess that's where. If
But
you're going-
like still like the bridge and the lifeboat are still went to the same spot.
I mean, yeah, unless you're going with the old way of thinking of how the heart is where the soul resides.
And
then
this
that
is
could be
this
it.
is still where I think they would have set it up for a sequel. Because the ship is still alive. Like
Yeah.
the entire ship is in pieces.
Yeah.
Like half of it went back to hell and the other half is a lifeboat, but the lifeboat's still here. Like
Yeah.
So that's kind of, this is the only time I've ever thought about this. Like, and I've seen this movie a lot.
Yeah, no, the ship still. I mean, that's why it feels like it gives her the final girl like hallucination thing because
Right.
Dr. Weir, Sam Neill
Right.
gets
And
it his first
I
time.
always attributed that as it's an ending, whatever. Haha, foo, gotcha. And then the door shut. And I think thinking about it now is like, no, the ship is
it's
still here.
Yeah, it's just broken in half. Part of it's still slightly possessed. The other half is in hell. Doesn't mean it's destroyed necessarily.
No, it's just Lawrence Fishburne's getting his dick pushed in by demons. But,
Yeah, by Sam Neill.
yeah. Whoa.
Whoa.
But
But yeah, naked Sam Neill. Like,
naked,
they
all
gave him
sliced
some,
up Sam Neill.
But also, like during the faraway shots, they gave Homie like a fucking hog.
Yeah, they gave him a big old hog.
and some big ass balls. Some very stiff looking big ass.
Well, when you're a demon, you gotta be.
Yeah, I mean they're probably
you gotta be imposing.
I mean they're
right?
probably like splayed open, like a little bit like the scrotes just stretched on all sides.
If you're a demon, you gotta have very very unsettlingly large genitalia,
Which the works and notice it. I'm like, oh, I'm
male
not-
or female.
Yeah,
It just has to be like you look at it and you go, oh my
God.
god, and you're terrified.
this must be
Not oh my
hell.
god in an exciting way. It's like oh shit.
Other than that, my last notes was just regarding the fact they had bolt cutters hanging on the fucking wall.
Which also pissed me off. Which was one I wanted to verbally like say, like I was actually mad because he grabs the bolt cut. He doesn't grab like I would have grabbed like the miniature axes or like the hammer.
Yeah, no,
or
that's something that was
big.
driving
No,
me nuts
he
with
goes,
everybody's
He goes
weapon
straight
choice.
for the bolt cutters.
Well, even
It's like
before the doctor is like, "All right, I think I hear something." Grabs a bone saw. You can't. What are you gonna do with that? A saw is not like for slashing on all that. Like
no, a saw is not a slashing weapon.
It'll hurt, but like no. So you're gonna defend. Like you're a doctor. You know how to hurt people. You guys are also seem to be semi-militarily trained.
It's
because you have
big. It's bigger than a pike. Like he had the fucking like whatever lobotomy pike tool.
Yeah.
I would have used that because you can fucking like stab.
Instead, people are grabbing
It was
bone
like,
saws
nah,
and bolt cutters.
Let's grab the bone saw.
It's some fucked up looking like hammer thing. It was just there.
Like let's grab the bone. How about you grab an actual weapon?
Also, where are the guns? You can't tell me that this was like
There were no guns in
Yeah.
this movie besides the
bullshit.
rivet guns.
yeah,
But
besides the rivet guns or just like or the weapons on the
also
Lewis
a
and Clark.
callback to Dead Space because there are no actual weapons in Dead Space. They're all tools.
Calling bullshit, man. Anything built from Earth, there's going to be a goddamn weapon system there. If you're allowed to smoke in these places, there's got to be like guns or something.
There has
Come
to be
on.
a gun somewhere.
Come on, you have American citizens serving on this thing, and you're telling me there's not really?
Also, they're part of the military. They would each
Military
one of them
training.
would have a sidearm.
Yes, they all have like fucking military. Like, so what the?
Oh man.
But then again, I guess I would have made it too fucking like. But I mean, I guess weapons on a spaceship is a little, as we saw
Well,
with him
yeah,
shooting
with
the
decompression and everything.
decompression and all that. But there's like,
guess it
ways
was
around it.
Yeah, there's logical thinking to all of it, and the conclusion we've come up with is it's dumb. This is a dumb movie,
Very dumb.
but it's also very fun.
I mean, parts that were very funny. Like I probably would have laughed a bit louder had I also not been part of my, like I said, the edible kicked in. I'm like, no, there's got to be there's connection.
yeah,
man.
yeah. You start thinking way too much about
It's
it.
just like no.
So
like, it's
in the end, the conclusion will
why
be
is the wife topless but still wearing underwear when she slits her wrists in the bathtub?
I would attribute that to being the actress didn't want to show off her crotch.
I mean, no, I definitely get that. I mean, like 100%. But like,
she's fine with showing her boobs, but not her crotch.
well, I mean, acting wise, that makes sense. But like, you're just getting in the tub to. First of all, why even bother getting naked? Someone's going to find your guy. It's the weed kicking in and just be like, no, man, I've got questions about so many
Got a
stupid
lot
little
of
things.
questions.
Why?
So,
Why
in
all this
conclusion,
spiky?
In conclusion, this is a very fun movie, but you need to not fucking think about anything that's happening.
Oh yeah, no, because if you do, it's going to drive you.
It's going to drive you crazy.
You're just going to be disappointed because there's so much. Like, oh, here comes the payoff. Next scene. Son of a bitch! Why do movies do this? Damn it! Stop teasing me with cool shit.